Hello there. Welcome to the LTS podcast, everyone. My name is Marcos, and today we have a guest. Coming in straight from the internet, we have Chris.
Hello.
Say hi to the world, Chris.
Hi, yeah, Chris here. Hello, everyone.
And obviously, the big three, besides myself, we have Alan.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're back. Glad to be back, and can't wait for this convo.
And Mr. J. Yeah, porterhouse. No, the chicken supreme.
What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm back with it again.
Yes, and the
I'm
soundboards.
doing good, personally.
Good.
Excelente.
Excellente. So yeah, right now.
This was brought to you by KFC
Oh,
because I'm hungry for chicken fries.
I feel like Popeyes is
Excellent.
better. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't
You're
know.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Popeyes is good.
Yo,
I think KFC
have you
is
guys seen that, I guess that new wave going on with, I think it was Popeyes, but they bought, like, the Walmart Nashville hot seasoning, and they, like, sprinkle it on the chicken, the fried chicken, and then they grab, like, the peppercini peppers in the jar, splash a little of the juice on top of the chicken, and then take a bite. People looking like they're having the best time of their life. Honestly.
Oh, wow.
No? Am I the only one? Am I that?
I'm gonna be honest, I have not.
They need a competition to add
to
to their
share that
spices,
one
man.
with you guys. It looks
Share.
amazing.
Share the sauce. Share the sauce.
I sure will. You don't gotta ask me twice. Give me.
He's like, be right back. We need something like
right.
somebody like a sound effect of somebody going upstairs or downstairs, like running up and down the stairs. But yeah, like for example, how's everyone's week been?
Oh, fantastic! Amazing.
Great,
Amazing.
awesome. It's been absolute. I know I'm not giving you too much content here. All right, so my week, it's been good. Started off okay. Today is better, but I'm just living my life as usual.
Living your
Nothing too
best
different.
life.
I hope so.
Everyone hopes. You're right. True. But yeah, like want to slide into everyone's comfortable if we slide into the notes. Yeah, porterhouse. No. Hello there. Chicken supreme.
Yeah,
Welcome.
definitely
to
go
the
ahead,
LTS
Marco.
That confuses me. That confuses me so much.
That's my voice, and I'm not moving my mouth. Obviously, it's not me. If we're
Very
recording the video, it's just the power of soundboarding, Chris. Don't you worry. We're here to help. And okay, porterhouse. No, the chicken supreme. It's like not me. I have to since I have a video now to show me. You don't understand. So yeah, I've been doing some, putting in some stuff in the notes, and I found the thing with the whatchamacallit, brain stuff, and it caught my attention. I want to hear you guys' opinion regarding in some stuff in the notes. I found the thing with the whatchamacallit, brain stuff. It wasn't me, I swear. Anyways, it was regarding how there were some ancient Chinese medicine books in some universities starting doing some studies of fact checking of how true these ingredients, specifically mushrooms, helped improved in real life. Some studies of fact checking of how true helping these ingredients, and they the University of Queensland of Australia was actually doing some studies and recently published in the month of February their results, and these are preliminary. Obviously, there's no actual repeatable. No, what's the word? If it's in the medical journal, and there's some results, but it can't be mass produced to have the same results. It's just a finding. So there's a potential there, but now actual what's the word? Copywriting. What's the word for businesses, Alan? That you have
patents?
there you go.
There you go. Yeah, patent. Mm-hmm.
You can't patent it just yet. It's just there's this data right now for the world medically, and they found that this mushroom called colloquially lion's mane has a specific compound inside of them that improves neurological and
Isn't that a fungus?
yes it is.
That's scary.
Yes, it is. Well, based with pop culture right now with this video game, this movie in HBO called The Last of Us. But again, this is based on real life. Meanwhile, The Last of Us is pop culture, popular culture. Okay, so take The Last of Us with a grain of salt, and take the medical journal with a bigger bucket of salt. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That was all fine.
So yeah, there you go. So, but I find it interesting that it's actual books that were already around for a very, very long time have been already publishing, using this in Asian, specifically Chinese culture, to help people with the brain stuff, if you will. And this university with three main scientists. One that was a director in the University of Queensland. The other one, something Martinez. Dr. Martinez. I forgot his first name. I'm very sorry about that. And there was another Dr. Lee. All three of them, I put them in the notes. This is off the top of my head.
What's his full name?
Again, I said I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not that. I need the shrooms. But anyways,
I think it's Dr. Da-Hee Lee.
from Korea. That's only I know. That's what I remembered off my noggin. That they did it on some brain, like whatchamacallit, they have them in little like circular things. What's their thing?
Petri dish?
Yeah, but brain slices, and directly implemented these compounds, which is very vague. Again, it's very vague, so take that with a grain of salt. That it helped the growth of these tubular things on the neurons. So this suggests that it can improve their contact with the world in the brain, and also potentially towards memory retention. They haven't used it on rats, they haven't used it on actual people, but they used it on petri dishes with actual human brain slices. So there's like a proof of concept with what was already around. And me personally, I can't get enough of this, It's just like, really? And
Yes, brain slices. Yes.
Brain slices. Yum.
Great imagery.
but actual human brain. So,
That'd be interesting. That's interesting to know. Like, okay, so they injected it into like some brain tissue they had in a petri dish, but like, how do you make that actually bioavailable? Like, are you going to be injecting people's skulls with that stuff if you can't like ingest it orally, or how are they going to implement that? It's one thing on brain slices. They got to do it on rats. I'm interested.
Then there's the whole thing with PETA that you have to do.
Right.
Consider.
For science, though.
Right,
Okay.
that's the quote. For science.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to advocate for anything illegal, within the bounds of research.
There you go.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's not.
No, but I was gonna say, like, over here in this article from Science Friday, it says in mice, these properties promoted neuron growth when diluted in water, resulting in better hippocampal memory. The result is very good sign that the properties in lion-maned mushrooms, they are mushrooms, can protect against dementia, Alzheimer's. The research behind the study say using the isolated components of the mushroom could be a step forward in the treatment of these devastating brain conditions.
Wow, through water. So you just put some mushrooms in your water.
Yes,
That'd be
brain
crazy
slices
if it-
once more.
And mice.
Right.
Yeah, and mice.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Insane. I think that's what
The
everybody's thinking.
membrane.
Absolutely.
Well,
Oh yeah, it was the other doctor was Dr. Raymond
Say it with gusto.
Martinez.
Say it with your chest.
Ramon.
Ramon. Don Ramon.
It doesn't have the accent on the
Wild, bro.
Oh no.
Come on. We know it. It's in our hearts. It's Don Ramon. He was dodging the rent for all these years for the brain studies.
He has a second last is Marmol.
Marmon?
Okay. Marmon.
Yeah, M-A-R.
That sounds
Yeah, Marmon.
it's like
the rock.
word association. What's going on?
No.
No, that's his other last name.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, so it rhymes.
It's Martinez Marmol.
Ramon
okay.
Martinez. Doctor.
You know what that also reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of what Kenichi does for his research, synapses and whatnot, right? That might
Yeah.
be something he should look into as far as like
probably is
what
too.
like the properties of these mushrooms / fungi to people's brains. Something like Mr. Joe Rogan would talk about, right?
Or
So
zombies.
we also have like a little chart over here, and it kind of explains it. It says like we have the mushroom, the lion's mane, and then they have a bunch of like chemicals that I don't know how to pronounce.
No shit.
Then they have neurotrophic activity through BDNF, TREC, ERK a half signaling.
Just
And then they have here increased near-right outgrowth, enlarged growth cone, and then enhanced recognition memory in mice. And it says a diagram depicting the neurological effects of lion's mane mushroom in mice. They credited the Dr. Martinez,
Martin.
and I'm assuming like Dr. Yijin Chai, Hansita Kronroy. There's just a lot of doctors in this study.
But yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Like, okay, but how can you mass produce it for the public? Because, or on capitalism, unfortunately, right? But the logistics, just thinking about the logistics and all those things, is going to be a pretty penny, unfortunately.
Right. Try to compound and then synthesize everything he's trying to do to like make it, I guess, accessible for a lot of people.
One, and then mass scale. Yep.
Right. I mean,
Or
it's quite a task.
Yeah, also in the article I shared that I released to Marcos' thing, they have like a little interview you can listen to, and they also have a transcript.
yeah.
So they say here, like they ask questions like, what do these compounds do? And then he goes into explaining to doctors. Mm-hmm.
I find that interesting. Like, it's like something about the noggin, because you know how people are constantly like, there's what, like the majority right now, the population is above us. Well, specifically in the US, is the medium age right now, I think 30, I think right now. Or
Okay.
I need a fact check. Can somebody run a fact check, or should I just say it out loud?
For what?
The median age of Americans right now.
America.
Yeah.
For what?
For their age, the median age of the US population.
Are we getting older?
Yes.
Dying off? Because no one's reproducing?
Not dying off, just being older. And that's being a problem, sliding into mental issues.
38.1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Which leads to my other point, Alzheimer's and all those things. So turns out that living people currently in the US have like there's a low percentage, like in the 30s, of people with actual mental Alzheimer's, equivalent of brain like retention stuff in the US specifically, obviously. And again, another university in Ohio did a study, and they were found that it's not only what the tenets of what people say to have a better brain currently, what we know, but it's an accumulate. I feel like it's a no-brainer. It's actually it's supposed to be this, but they proved it that it actually is, besides having a healthy lifestyle right now as an adult, like everyone here, or Chris in this case, that's becoming into an adult, that your parents have to a healthy person's like brain future is dictated, or partially a majority dictated what you had since you were conceived or a baby, meaning like you have to have a solid economic lifestyle as a child, have plenty of education, or somehow to build up more the desire to be more, absorb knowledge, be more understanding of things, and also like have an economic stability. What's the word? The one that you always tell me, Alan, that you're looking for everyone's looking to have an economic freedom, and that is those are even bigger factors for your child, for this child or boy or girl or whatever they want to identify to try to prevent to have Alzheimer's. So these sayings of it takes a village to upbring a child is being proven to be each time even more fruitful. So if you have kids, try to have a very strong base that will give them later in their life a stronger mental retention or prevention of mental diseases, if you will. And
wait, but Marcos, I'm thinking of something I was looking at. I think it was like a YouTube video. I forgot the doctor's name, but I think this doctor was doing research on people that experience Alzheimer's and other mental diseases like that. And I think one of the conclusions that came out with was the fact that a lot of these issues come from the diet people have and how that correlates with people having dementia and Alzheimer's. It's due to the type of, or the lack of nutritional value our food has in the US particularly, and how we usually...
When do you start eating? You start eating since you're a kid. So that nutritional is
Right,
since you're being upbrought.
Right, but the way you make it sound, it was like everybody, like the whole village is trying to take care of a kid. And
That's
I think,
the saying.
yeah, but I mean, we can say that doesn't make it true in this sense, where I think the majority of people, I would hope, think that a two-parent household is a lot more beneficial than just having a one-parent. Not to, throw shade at people that are a single family home or with either a mom or a dad, but usually when there's two people there, they tend to have a better, I guess you can say, grasp on, taking care of the kid. At least we would hope so, right? Not speaking too crazy in general, but I think as far as like your diet goes, your workout regimen, even as a little kid, you might have kids that are, especially during these times, like through the pandemic, a lot of these kids that were so-called or quote unquote healthy got really, unhealthy because they were sitting around doing nothing. And once they started going outside little by little, unfortunately being active wasn't their main priority. And we see a lot of people that are afflicted with, overweight and obesity and,
social skills.
Right. Your soft skills, right? How to interact with other people. And yeah, that's a big issue that people need to, take care of. But I think the food aspect really does come first from your home, right? Your household, whether it be your parents.
That's not stable.
Right. Whether it be your parents or your guardian, hopefully we would hope that that person's trying to take care of having a balanced diet. Unfortunately, not everybody is going to be able to go to Whole Foods, right? And get you organic everything, but trying your best to have a balanced diet and maybe cut down on the artificial sweeteners and colors and all these other weird things like aspartame that's going into your food. I'm not saying we're going to go through every package with a magnifying glass, but
we're not preaching that either.
Right, of course, because I mean, who doesn't like going down to your local Golden Arches and getting a McDouble with a small fries and a drink, perhaps, right? Or going to a Shake Shack and get one of those wonderful white truffle burgers that they just came out with again.
Amen.
I mean, I know I love that, but it's not something you should do every day, is what I'm saying. And these are the things that this particular doctor, and the name eludes me, but once I find this doctor, I will definitely put that in the show notes or share that link with you guys, where he was explaining that a lot of these issues that people have when they're grown-ups do come through having a very lackluster diet and poor maybe regimen and exercise, right?
And social, like a discipline to always want to learn stuff.
Yeah, and I think when you take into account like you put poop food into your engine, you're gonna get poop out, is what I'm saying, right? So don't expect getting Formula One, activity going, whether it be mental capacity or even going out and being active when you're putting garbage in your body. I think we ask of our bodies too much at that point when we got to be like, I'm not saying extra careful, but we have to make better decisions on our diet and stuff like that. Again, sorry, Marcos, I'm rambling now. Go ahead.
The quote that I found today was that success is nothing more than the sum of little things done day by day. So if you want to create a successful study or go to like a high competitive university, you got to start with your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, right, Chris?
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's interesting because I actually read about, or at least I teach this in school now. We used to think it was fats, like trans fats, especially, that was like ruining our diets and causing obesity in the US, which is just partly, it's true. It's not like inherently wrong. But sugar, man, sugar apparently it's like the root of all evil, especially
Right.
with Alzheimer's and dementia going forward. Apparently, like sugar and artificial sweeteners, all of that is like toxic. Maybe not now, but long term, little by little, which is interesting. I don't know. That's what they're teaching us in school now.
Yeah, unfortunately. Dang it.
Yeah,
But it tastes so
definitely.
good.
It's horrible. Yeah. That's how they get you.
It's crazy.
It's
Especially like okay, I'm not, sodas. I think I don't like anything carbonated, but sodas especially. I know I saw you had like a LaCroix.
Marco is taking it back a little bit.
No offense to Marcos, but yeah, my family loves sparkling water. They love seltzer. It's spicy. It just tastes like when your leg falls asleep. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would I want to put that in my
Good
mouth?
Lord, that's a great analogy.
That sounds like an analogy, if anything.
That's a great example.
It's not good. Why would you willingly choose to do that? Again, no offense. I guess but sparkling water, soda, I don't like it. Keep it away from me.
Oh my god.
So, what's your thoughts about like a green tea or coffee, or do you drink that, or is it strictly water, plain, flat water for you?
Oh no, I'd love it for it just to be water, but I drink coffee, which is terrible because I get Dunkin', and like all over.
America runs on it. America runs on it, Chris. Don't you?
Northeast, let's just say
It's
that.
in my veins, absolutely.
America.
The thing is, it's sugar. It's crazy sugar. If you don't get black, I'd argue is
You can never go back. That's the thing.
That's
if you
the issue, right? That's the issue.
Oh, I
So
love
if you-
drinking my coffee black. That's how I drink it always. I never try to put those artificial anything in that. That's great. I mean, it depends who you ask, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyways, I drink a ton of Dunkin', which is terrible because that's just packed with sugar.
Because you're dunking
Black coffee tastes absolutely terrible. It's bitter, not. And I guess I've heard a lot about the quality of your coffee. Like if you get like some coffee that like marsupials poop out, and I forgot what
the
the actual
fancy.
name is. The fancy stuff. Apparently, that's the best thing you can ever have, and it's not bitter at all.
That's actually a heated debate because there's a lot of people that are coffee connoisseurs that are
acidic
like,
even.
they're like, yeah, that's not coffee, that's poop. You want to drink poop? Go ahead.
People are drinking it.
No, absolutely. People love
There's
going
a
to
market, there's a
Madagascar
demand.
and getting these poop from these weird like cousins of lemurs or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there are a lot of people that are connoisseurs of coffee, like I was saying, that are like, no. You need to get, something perhaps that is Brazilian or Ethiopian or Italian roast, or you might want to do something that's along the lines of, somewhere that's not close to them.
No,
And
nothing
they-
near of a monkey's bum.
Right, and then they'll go through the process like, oh, well, I'll do a French press, or I'll only do espresso through, certain types of machines, and people go crazy with the Keurigs or the Nespressos. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, again, I think to your point, Chris, once you start adding a whole bunch of extra things, you kind of dilute whatever good property that something is. And to your point, it's like whether it be sparkling water or or coffee, when we start getting caramel macchiatos out the wazoo.
Whoa, how do you know? That's crazy.
Hey, I do enjoy my caramel macchiatos from time to time. It's not an everyday thing. It's more like
It's a
I treat
lifestyle.
myself type of thing when I'm having a good day, I think.
See, I think I'm in the middle because I absolutely hate coffee.
Wow, yeah.
It's bad.
So I only
Give it time.
go for
Give it
Yes,
Give it time.
yes.
Oh,
What do you mean give it time? You've been saying this is
You didn't like tea, remember? You didn't like tea. I was there.
yeah, but I can't.
No,
I can't,
tea is
I can't stand with
awesome.
coffee.
I only
No,
do
he
green
was said,
tea for the most
why
part.
not just drink water or milk? I don't like tea. Forget about it. And he walked away and sat down and watched the One Piece.
Mind you,
Right,
mind you, this is the same because like I like to take my tea just straight up, just straight from the
Yes,
leaves.
of course.
It's not
He's
good
always
when
asking
they-
me, he's like, so you're adding.
Oh,
So he's always asking me, he's like, you putting milk, honey, and I'm like, no, just water and leaves.
Just leave. Just
I
go
mean,
away.
Water and
I
leaves.
respect that. I do the same thing for the most part. like I'll dabble sometimes. I'll get like maybe chamomile tea or something like that, or something along those lines, kind of herbaceous.
Like
Right,
green
but
tea.
I'll do the green tea over any other tea for the most part. Like I'll grab one of the sachets, and if I can get my hands on like higher quality green tea,
Matcha.
like the matcha, I'll
Just
definitely
coffee, I think.
mess with that heavy. Definitely. No sugar, no nothing, no lemon wedge, just green tea. Hot,
No.
hot.
I'll do the
I was
lemon
gonna
wedge
say
on
that,
the-
yeah.
Unless it's like
I'll do that.
Firstly, I'll do the lemon wedge if it's not of high quality green tea.
Yeah,
So you're
like lip.
so the garnishes are like to hide the lack
Yeah.
of something.
To mellow out the, I guess, the not so green tea. Yes.
I remember one time though, I gave Marcos my tea. He looks at me. He's like, "This is bitter," and I'm like, "Yes."
When?
Then
Give me the date.
It was when I visited you in the court. Because I grabbed tea, remember? You offered it to me.
Yeah, I did. Nah, there you go. That was 2 years ago. Yes, I agree. Yes, I
Oh,
remember.
interesting.
Oh,
We do ruin it for sure. Coffee, put a bunch of sugar, cream, all crazy stuff. Itself is good. It's like the main source of what is it? Oh man, I'm blanking.
Antioxidants, right?
Antioxidants. Okay, antioxidants in the U.S. So like it itself is not bad for you, unless you like grow super dependent and whatnot. Yeah, and besides like staining your teeth if you're drinking black coffee. But like we even put dressing on our salads now. It's like we're trying to be healthy. I appreciate the effort.
Bacon
Yes,
bits.
yes, absolutely.
I like it. They're so
Blue
good.
cheese
we
crumble.
never put dressing. We never put dressing in our
You never
salad.
did this, Chris?
I do. Yeah.
I usually do like the olive oil and like fresh lemon juice or lime juice. Like that's for the most part.
Or the olive oil and
What's
the
those little
strawberry
pieces of
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
Croutons.
There you go. Though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
Oh,
pretty good.
croutons are tasty. I try to steer away from them.
I agree. It's just condensed trans fats and all those things.
There's sodium too. It's yeah.
Yeah,
Delicious.
Tasty.
You're speaking my lingo now.
they're so tasty though. But
But you know what goes good
What?
with salad?
sauces.
The little grape tomatoes.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
cherry
yeah, yeah, yeah.
tomatoes.
Do you guys do the olives or nah? I do
yeah,
the
olives.
olives. I do the
Cucumbers.
onions,
Cucumbers.
olives,
Oil.
I'll do
Cucumbers
the
are amazing.
cucumbers, peppercini
Cucumbers.
peppers, all that.
The purple onions are like iffy sometimes, depending on the mood.
No, the
onions.
purple onions are dope.
They're strong.
Onions are great. It's exactly. I'm strong boy.
You're the.
Have you guys ever
This
tried
is
like
why you guys need a
antipasta
webcam.
salads from like Italian restaurants or like a pizzeria? Like they'll
Yeah, I think I've had.
yeah, exactly. So it's like a nice what's it called? Romaine. Yeah, it's like a
it's
nice
actually all stuff.
romaine salad with artichoke hearts, cherry tomatoes,
Yes.
pepperoncinis. They'll do like the little pinwheels of like prosciutto or like ham, cheese, and stuff like that, and
Protein.
add it, and then you get your little mozzarella mixed in, and then you get this like house-made vinaigrette, which is amazing. At least I think it's amazing.
Sounds good.
I still find it funny that I remember telling people I'm like I'd rather eat artichoke hearts than olives.
Artichoke.
Really, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like I don't like
Yeah,
olives are
I
good.
like that.
Olives are good.
Overpowering.
Onions are too
Even
overpowering.
though artichoke hearts are like kind of because they base them in like oil or something.
So do olives.
At least sometimes. But I'd rather eat that than the olives.
Okay, I need to make a video of me drinking the juice of the pickles. You know that pickle in the
You
spears?
drink pickle brine?
That
Right.
versus the olives versus the other one. What's the other one? There are three. Brine pickles, brine the olives. It's called the brine, right, Alan?
Well,
Big
capers.
Yeah. And then there's no, the brine. No, the
Peppercino
brine
peppers?
itself. The brine itself. I like to see which one tastes better because low key, the pickle one for me is pretty good.
The pickle one is like straight vinegar, isn't it?
There's
I'm sure there's yeah.
Oh,
there
there's
has
like
to be,
other
there
stuff
has to
to
be.
it, yeah.
I'm
What
trying to
about the
think what it
kimchi
is,
brine?
like the brine, because I know it's
It's the vocabulary
water
correct even?
and like peppercorns and spices
Yeah.
and stuff.
Some of them are not.
Or kimchi.
No. Ooh.
I like pickles. I'm a big fan of pickles.
Yeah. In that long or inside your
same,
sandwiches?
same. Pickles are great.
alongside or inside your sandwiches?
Oh, I don't know. I bet you said that.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I have eaten just like straight up a dill pickle, and it's not bad. It's not bad. Sometimes I'm not feeling it in my sandwiches, so I take it out.
Keeps you regular.
Yeah, yeah.
Fact,
You gotta have your
fact or fake?
variety.
Is that fact or fake? That it helps.
I
Well,
don't know. Probably not pickles like dill pickles because they're usually loaded with sugar.
wait,
But like the kimchi and stuff, yes.
that's cabbage though. Kimchi usually is cabbage. They'll try to kimchi-fy
Yes.
like whatever other
Everything.
cucumbers, or they'll do like garlic and stuff like that. They'll try to do seaweed as well, I believe. Radishes,
Right.
daikon radish, onions.
Onion.
Yeah, but going back to the pickle situation, like, do you guys do the spears, the little chips, or do you guys like have the whole
I think,
pickle?
I think that's what Marcos
so
Was that what you were? Oh, I apologize, Marcos.
He was like a long
or like sliced in the sandwich.
Right.
I feel like I don't know. I don't try the long one too much. But they're both good. They're both good.
Like bread and butter.
I do whatever's in
or
front of me.
anything else, like sweet, a little bit more vinegary. Like I know there's a bunch, and to me they're all tasty. Like for me,
They're magically
they're
delicious.
like Lucky Charms.
I feel like Alan just has like superior taste buds than me because like every pickle I've tasted is the same. It's just good.
Huh? Oh, it hasn't
As long
been
as they're
bad.
good, bro.
It hasn't been bad.
You enjoy it. That's all that counts.
Yeah, I've munch them. Yeah, they're good.
Because with Alan, you should there's the video. I think when we had the pizza slices, he again we're promoting a video again that we did a long time ago.
As you should, there, sir.
He was talking of
It was 2018.
yeah, basically before the
6:47 p.m.
It's like before the pandemic hit.
pre the fire age. He told us the backstories of like these Edgar Alan's brother was in also saying because this one's like more like a working man's I think it was the Sicilian. It was like thicker, and like Alan was giving us the lowdown of what you were saying. Like this one tastes as if it was canned, or this one tastes like you can take the sauce like it's the whole story again. That's what I know.
Forget.
Again, there's
I
video
forget.
proof of this. There's video proof. Yes,
The sauce.
and the meats and the cheese, all of this in the video.
And guess what? There is no pineapple on pizza.
What's your stance on it? Pineapple? It's an acid. It could complement it.
Well, no,
I
what's your
went for
stance on
pizza.
it?
The Hawaiian style.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
It's just silence. Look, I'm really not
I apologize.
Oh, sorry, I've angered him.
We don't know. It's just
I mean, I wouldn't order it. I wouldn't mind it, but I wouldn't
you want to
order
go out
it.
your way.
No. Nah. I think it might be like a little bit too much acidity. Marcus, look for it now. I saw him. I saw his
Yeah.
eyes moving.
I
He's
know
like,
that.
yeah,
Look for it
now.
because it's good. You don't look for it. It's you're right. Pepperoni.
No, I like the
I'm a simple man. With
I like it. I like pepperoni or
Yeah, I like
cheese.
pepperoni, half cheese, pepperoni.
I think like the specialty of where we're from is like the chicken parm slice.
Chicken parm, right?
I've seen like a lot of more places that have chicken parm over here
what's
than
your thoughts on
most places. Really delicious.
Right.
It's a hefty boy, but it's delicious. It's worth it.
Well, like, I mean, do you guys do the quintessential slice where it's like just a plain cheese pizza, or do you mess heavy with the toppings? Because I know there's people that
the
will
margarita?
swear that like the plain is number one, or they're like, oh no, I only eat with this sort of topping, or they have to have these 3 toppings or something like that. I'm like, I don't know, like it overcomplicates things sometimes. I'll mess with either like a buffalo chicken or a chicken parm. Like I don't mind those, but once you start adding like pineapple to it, that is where I start drawing the line. Or like, are you sure about that? But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I was gonna say with Marcos, I think there's a distinguish between cheese and margarita.
Yes.
cheese and margarita.
Like he's shaking his head.
No, no,
like,
yeah. But
no, but like it's like margarita. I've learned that like it's more of the
herbs.
buffalo mozzarella versus like the typical cheese slice. If you go to a pizzeria, is like it's more of a skim blend or something like that. Basically, it's like there's less moisture
You're saying it's dry?
margarita slice.
to the cheese. No. For like the regular quintessential cheese slice.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Well,
I was confused.
yeah, usually it's mozzarella that they add to it, right?
All of them,
Or
right?
it's a shredded.
Well, both of them, yes, but the margarita has a more
they add-
the buffalo.
I think it
mozzarella
depends on where
cheese.
you go, because there's people that are very purist and they'll add just very, very simply crushed tomatoes, a little bit of garlic, and basil, and that's it. That's what they call a margarita. They don't mess with it too heavy. And if
And
they
they're
do
thick slices.
decide to add cheese, they'll do like a pecorino romano or something like that, to add to enhance the flavor, give it a little salty, complex flavor or layers of flavor. But if you were to go to maybe another place, they'll do maybe like a focaccia instead of a slice, and it's a lot more bread to sauce, ratio. And if they, prepare it correctly, it's going to be a lot more crispy on the edges, and you get like this nice fluff in the middle, and not like a donut fluff. I mean like a nice like well-made bread, like almost like
Like it's crunchy on the outside.
yeah,
and
like
soft in
good
the
bread,
middle.
like a nice baguette or something of that nature. So you get that nice consistency, but the added benefit is that there's a good amount of sauce on it. Very, very fresh ingredients like garlic and
cheese.
basil and stuff like that. Maybe they'll do a little finishing oil on it, right? Very good or high quality olive oil. But
I am starving.
Yeah.
Every time,
I apologize.
every time you describe a meal, it sounds like you're advertising. I just get like immersed into a cutscene of just like a big, nice margarita pizza. Man, I am hungry.
Yo, and you get like a nice, glass of wine or something, and then you call it a day, right?
It's fancy.
You're just like,
No, and that's what kills me. A lot of times people go about it like, oh, you got to get like high quality XYZ of wine to enjoy your slice.
what's your,
And then
what's your
people
price
like
mark?
just grab a beer, and it's like, yeah, sure, grab a beer. It's no problem.
Yeah,
Like,
because
get
they
yourself a shot of whiskey. It's all right. Everything's gonna be okay.
coffee with a little shot.
Well, I think a lot of people gravitate towards, especially here in the East Coast, right? They'll do
East Coast.
yeah, East Coast, Beast Coast. Is that what you said, Marcos? I agree with you. But like you'll see a lot of these, or not a lot, just like, but you'll see Neapolitan type of style of pizza. You'll see a lot of Sicilian style, and maybe you'll see a few maybe Rome style or another particular style of pizza making, where you either have like a brick oven or you get firewood oven, and the consistency is going to be different. The dough might even be different due to the fact that they have to deal with a certain type of temperature, and they want to get a certain type of result with the dough or whatever, and you get this nice char outside. Maybe the I guess the width or length of the pizza is a little bit different, and people get very artsy fartsy about it, but it is what it is. You want to slice, you want to slice.
It
And
is
I
what
think-
it is.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome, right? And I mean, there's people that'll do, I don't know, maybe mozzarella with like figs and like a balsamic reduction or something like that with some, and some will do like a white pie, get like ricotta and stuff like that. There are people that put caviar on their pizza, and I'm like, okay.
Was it in Manhattan where they put like the little dust, even that gold dusting on the pizza?
Yeah, I've seen people. I think it was dude from Barstool. What's his name?
It's not even good, but
David Portnoy, where he goes around and starts grading people's pizzerias and like their
on the East Coast, even.
Yeah,
the
he'll
East
do
Coast.
like no. I think he's gone to the West Coast before. I'm not quite sure,
I
but
can only testify to the East Coast, from Florida all the way up to Boston.
Okay.
Mass. No, England. Sorry, even to
England?
them.
Okay. Well, yeah. There you go. I mean,
In Chicago.
other than that, do you guys mess heavy with anything else, like maybe the pasta, or do you guys go a different route? Because I was hearing, like, this last week, I've been hearing a lot of people disrespecting the East Coast about, in particular, like around the tri-state area, trying to disrespect, saying that there's no good food spots out here. And I don't know.
Put them on blast.
I'm not gonna say any names because I really don't know their names besides their handles, right, on Instagram. But the point is that I think there's a good food culture here.
The guy who made the TikTok, he's like, the best bagels are in LA.
The bagels, or the best delis, or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tight.
Yeah, I'm like,
Exactly. What is this?
I forgot his name.
What's it called?
I mean, I haven't been to the West Coast, like California or Nevada or Arizona.
Say right, California.
Right, but I'm pretty sure there's great spots out there. I'm not gonna, bulldoze them or try to say anything nasty like a lot of them say nasty things about the East Coast. But I will say this, like, I think we have a really good food culture over here in the East Coast, and
all of the U.S.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I think they have a particular, agenda when they start attacking the East Coast, the tri-state. Let's put it that way.
Politics?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Are they gatekeeping, if you will?
I don't know if they're gatekeeping. They swear that their food culture over there is a cut above New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like, I've been down the East Coast. I've found really good places.
The entire way down.
No, not the whole thing. I've from New York, or from Connecticut, actually, because I've worked in Connecticut before, in a food establishment in Omega Drive, for this company. So it was more of a, how can I say, more of a business oriented food establishment, like a cafeteria, but it was awfully fancy for what they had, because it was like the type of dining that they did was a little bit more a la menu, just to put that out there. But from places like that in Connecticut, down New York, New Jersey, and heading down to Texas, like, you go down to like really nice places where they have a really good food scene. Like, Atlanta has really good food, I think, anyway. I've gone down to Florida. I think there's really good food there too, based on what I've eaten over there. And you'll get like a very good eclectic mix of different types of cuisines, going down through, the Big Easy, down to Louisiana. I think is really cool because there's a lot of French influence down in Louisiana. But again, French Creole, and I think it's really cool. And you get to see a lot of this like mix and melding of these types of ingredients and philosophies of cooking, and it's really interesting. I think it's really tasty, especially when you sit down and you appreciate what they serve, because there's a story behind a lot of these particular plates and dishes and stuff that they make. Marcos, I'm sorry, I'm rambling again. Please go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Go on.
Yeah, please proceed, good sir. You're good on my side.
No, I was just rambling because all this hate on the East Coast.
Can't have that. No.
Is it,
Yeah, but other than that, and like, to be quite honest, I think one of the more peculiar things that I've seen was, what could it be? I think a lot of the go-to for a lot of people that live out in the West Coast is that, or even people that aren't from Mexico, let's put it that way, because a lot of people, food in California, especially Mexican food, is a cut above whatever they serve out in New York, XYZ, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with proximity, one, but I think also it's kind of weird to me when it's like people that aren't Mexican, and I'm not saying this, just to say it, but it's like, it would be like me going somewhere that I'm not originally from there, and saying, well, like, let me take an example. Like, say if I've never gone to India, and I know Indian food is really good, like amazing, down from their spices to all the proteins that they cook, and even the vegetarian scene out there, because there are a lot of people that don't eat meat out there, and they have phenomenal recipes. For me to go somewhere and be like, nah, you know, I've tasted like the Indian food in New York. It's nothing like the Indian food out in California. It's like, dude, you've never been to India. How would you know if that's even authentic? And people are like, oh yeah, but I've been down to, you know,
Sunny Drive.
Yeah, I've been to, you know, the Royal Palace out in, you know, New Jersey. It's like, I know what authentic is. Like, okay, guy.
The New Delhi Diner.
Right, and it's kind of weird because people would swear like, oh, I've been down to Tijuana, and I think that's where a lot of people make that mistake, because a lot of times people tend to forget that. And again, I could be totally wrong on this, but I think I have a pretty good grasp on this one, where a lot of Mexicans in California are from a certain part of Mexico, and it's not only, you know, or it's not as well-rounded as the actual country of Mexico is. You go to different states and it's a different food scene. Mm-hmm. Where a lot of people over here on the East Coast tend to be from places like the state of Puebla. You don't see
Mexico City.
Right, or Mexico City, but you don't see many people from like Jalisco, Sonora, or Hermosillo. And what happens a lot of times is that style of food doesn't translate very well over here, because you don't have, obviously, the ingredients to make those type of dishes. And then for you to expect people to make the type of dishes you see out in California, it's a little, you know, ass backwards if you try to think about it that way. Or if you were to go to Texas or California or Arizona or New Mexico and say, oh, well, you know, something from Veracruz, and you're like, that's nowhere near where they're from,
Chiapas.
Right?
Yeah.
Or Chiapas, exactly. So I think people look at it that a little weird, because it's like, oh, we have all this great food scene, we get the taco trucks. Like, yeah, that's very common out in maybe the northwest of Mexico proper, and that's what translates to when you eat over there. But when you go over here to the East Coast, you're dealing mostly with southeastern Mexico, and their food is way different from northwest of Mexico. And I think that's where people kind of get lost in translation when it comes to how I want to say maybe their taste buds, their palate is when it comes to Mexican food. And it's like, again, going back to the idea or the example of going to India. India is a massive place, and North India is not the same as South India. East India is not the same as West India. And it's like you're trying to kind of hodgepodge together like a flavor profile with one restaurant or a couple of food stalls or a couple of food trucks, and be like, yeah, no, I have a great understanding, grasp of this culinary adventure we call, you know, this country or that country. And it's like, nah. And I can only imagine, like, even down, I want to say, like in the Caribbean, Cuban food does not taste the same as Jamaican food, and Jamaican food does not taste the same as Dominican food or Puerto Rican food, St. Lucia food, or somewhere else like Haitian food. It's all very different, even though it's very close to proximity, but their styles are very different. The spices are different, the way they make certain things, even if they are the same in name only, but they have a different way of going about it. And I think that's what's interesting. And I don't know. Let me stop rambling. If you guys want to switch up the convo, we can definitely do it. I was just, you know, it's getting that off my chest real quick.
What do you think, Chris? What do you think?
I was going to say, especially Chinese food. You know, like the Chinese food we have here, it's so, I don't know. It's just, China's massive too. China's massive, and they have such a diverse gastronomy. It's insane. Like the stuff, because a little, not a hobby, but an interest I have is I watch vloggers in China just to get a sense of how it's like there. It's super interesting. Just all the different meals they have, like from the north and to the south. It's crazy. But anyways, the food we have here in America, nothing like, even, I mean, you might get some elements that are similar, but like it doesn't even capture any part of China. It's just what we like our like misguided view of what
Amerocentric.
Chinese food. Yeah. And you know, they figured out, I don't know who did back in the day, but they figured out that it was more palatable for Americans to have like all these like orange chicken, General Tso's chicken, like chicken that are loaded with like sugar sauces. And
Shout out to
definitely
the
get that in
General.
China. Right.
Mr. Tao, General Tao.
But yeah, you don't get that nearly as much in actual China.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true. And I think I was watching this YouTuber. His name is Xiaoma NYC, and he's a polyglot. So he speaks a lot of languages, and he studies languages, and he tries to practice them as much as he can. And he goes out to the city over here in NYC, and goes and practices it the best he can with the people that are from there. And what he's discovered is that a lot of the people that are in New York, I would probably say even in the East Coast, tri-state area, is that you'll find a lot of people from China and from a particular area called I forgot the name or the place, but they speak Fushanese, which is from a particular province in China, and he goes about learning it so he can speak to people that work, live, and sell stuff over in the city. And it's super interesting because it's not quite, and you would say, oh, it's a dialect, but it's a bona fide language, due to the fact that there's a vast majority of people out, not only in China but over here in particular, that speak Fushanese. And it's not Cantonese, it's not Mandarin, it's not Shanghainese, it's not whatever other language inside from the country is, right, of China. And that's crazy because a lot of people that would probably be from like other parts of the states where they have like a high density or a large amount of people from China living there, probably speak a different type of language or to a certain extent dialect. And it's interesting because that also translates to the food that they make. And to your point, Chris, it's like north, east, west, south. It has to be something super interesting to figure out, like people that are from the same country are making different types of dishes based on where they're really from, as far as like tradition, language, food, right? And that's
Is that like
awesome.
human nature? Is that like to try to categorize each one of us?
I don't think so. I think it's they do like most dishes. People make food out of necessity, right? They make stuff from what they have. If
It's an
they
end
have
product
it,
of, yes.
right. It's like, this is the reason why I was mentioning places in India or places in Mexico. It's like you're gonna have the Pacific coast fishing different fish than the people out on the Gulf of Mexico. Same thing over in Japan. Japan is going to have different fish, even though they're very close to South Korea. They're probably going to fish not the same type of fish. And what's to be said about people that live in Hawaii, or people out in Guam, or people out in Southeast Asia, like in the Philippines,
South America.
right? South America. Like again, you get different ingredients that you can't find somewhere else, and this is where I think makes the thing or the cooking experience a lot more different. And
Remember in our recent recording with Kari, she told us her story
Right.
about the squids and the halea.
cooking, cooking and squidding, which is, to me, I think it's something that's awesome. Like you get to taste different ingredients, right? And I'm pretty sure places in Spain use squid ink from squids to cook and stuff like that. It must taste delicious.
The French
know,
or
and-
Italian also do that.
Maybe Italians, yeah, of course. Anything around the Mediterranean, like everybody's gonna have their twist on it. The Greeks,
It's just so exciting.
yeah, it's awesome, right?
So, better ingredients.
No, Papa John's, no, the world.
The
Put it.
Papa John's.
The world. The. But yeah, okay. Now with that, what do you think if we slide into the other stuff that we've always had? Let's see, where is it? Let's see. What's the name of it? Let's see.
Wait, Marcos.
Yes.
I don't think we've asked a question on the recording yet. Chris, please, would you share with us, Team Apple, Team Samsung, what, where, when, and why?
Oh, Apple or Samsung is massive. Samsung is huge. They make everything. I'm gonna go with. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with Apple. Again, a walled garden. They do their own thing.
Okay.
The integration is very, very. It's one of a kind with Apple.
Seamless, yes.
The specs for Samsung and other Androids, they're better. They just are. Samsung probably has the best screens, even though.
OLED, yes.
Yeah, OLED.
Apple
but yeah, it's
buys
just
from them.
Right, yeah. So it's just Apple ecosystem, traps people in, and I'm one of those people. I'm not ashamed.
No, we love the transparency there,
We
Chris.
have it on the recording. For the recording.
Yeah, Apple. It's not because their profit margins are huge. That's a little bit of a tangent, but they make. I think it was leaked one time where it's like they were like their flagship. They were selling for I don't know 900 or 1,000, but it costs only like 300 to 400 to produce. So their profit margins are crazy. It's different now, I'm sure, but this was maybe like 3-4 years ago.
I don't know. Yeah, they're probably making
Pre-pandemic numbers. Pre-pandemic numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They moved. I don't know if they fully
They
moved
did.
from China to India.
They did.
China to India for even cheaper or better margins.
They gotta help the other
So,
countries rise up.
yeah.
That's how much pull they have.
Well, I think we discussed this or pointed this out in another recording where a lot of these companies that go and transfer from China to India, they have to
Or Vietnam.
invest into the country in order for them to actually, so they're allowed to actually build factories out there because they don't have an infrastructure. They do, but it's not, I guess, one that's adequate for.
Robust enough.
Yeah, exactly. Robust enough for the actual companies setting up shop. So they have to invest in order for them to have proper roads to get their manufactured goods from point A to point B. And I think it's interesting to see that. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting to see and know that's what needs to be done in order for them to get their products out to the world. And we would hope that it benefits both parties, but sometimes it's like it's the gray area when you see like maybe the wages that they pay,
Politics.
right? Well, the wages that they pay for the price that you get to charge to people for their products, right? And that's every company. That's not just Apple per se.
Capitalism too. Yeah.
Yo, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw Amazon built a warehouse in Tijuana, and
Tijuana?
it's I think exactly. And it's crazy because you see like I don't know how to describe it in other terms. So like in the Dominican Republic, you have campos, which it's just mainly farmland. You might have little shacks, so it's like that, but in the desert. And then like right next to it, you have a huge, big, like futuristic industrial Amazon warehouse. It's an interesting picture. I don't know.
It seems so out of place, I guess, right?
But not the paradox. The
juxtaposition.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. I don't know. Interesting thing.
Yeah, but I also think that has to do a lot with the actual government that particular company has to deal with, right? Because one of the reasons that a lot of these companies don't set up shop here is because the amount of money they would have to pay workers for the labor would be, more than they could probably charge for whatever product they're producing. And it just makes a lot more sense to them, right? But I think that also has to do with the way the monetary system is set up, not just here, but around the world. It's incentivized to look for a factory outside of the US unless you are willing to bite the bullet and say, well, we're bringing back manufacturing back to the States. And you see a lot of these situations, like what's this company I'm thinking of, like Ford or
GMC.
yeah, like automakers from the
Toyota.
U.S. trying to take their factories out of other countries and bring them back to the United States. It's possible. It just means that it's going to cost a lot more to manufacture. More likely than not, it's going to be of a higher quality because you would hope that the people that are making these products, in this case the cars, are a little bit more highly educated in the sense of like having better infrastructure for assembly line, and you would hope that these people are, you know, boots on the ground, like closer to proximity of the actual engineer creating this design and whatever the other bits and pieces for making a car is, so it gets to a person's hands a lot quicker. You don't have to move anything outside the country. But I mean, yeah, go ahead, Marcos.
Question: Is this just you telling me? Give me an opinion, a hot take. I don't know if it's hot, but just like off the top of my head, do you think the U.S. right now is more easier for upstart companies to do their thing versus big, just established companies with higher overhead of taking care of their companies versus a lean and mean company just starting with a good idea? Do you think that the US is more catering to those kinds of companies or to the big like GMC, Ford, those kinds of companies? What do you think? Like, is this like it's my perception? Is it wrong or what?
Well, I think it depends on the type of company you're trying to start. If it's like a tech startup, it probably makes more sense starting it here because you have infrastructure, you have the banks where they're going to loan you the money. But like, say you're going to do something a little bit different, right? It makes sense for a car manufacturer company to set up shop outside the States because it costs less to produce certain goods and then bring them over here. This is the reason why China is called the factory of the world. But I mean, look at Amazon as an example. Jeff Bezos had an idea. It didn't have to do with creating anything physical in the sense of creating books. He was just selling books, right?
It was a middleman.
Right. So he figured out a way to monetize on that online. So he didn't have to create something as far as a physical something. He had to create an idea and a platform that would work, being the third party to get it from the publishing company or I mean, you know, books to
Publishers,
from point A to point B. Yeah. And along the lines, he figured that, hey, why don't I just introduce, you know, selling this on the website or this on the website? And it kind of developed to a snowball effect,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So it went from doing that to selling goods from A to Z. And then he started, you know, not settling for less and said, hey, why don't I make this stuff, right? For like
Amazon Basics.
Right. And then he started that. And then he didn't stop there. He didn't rest on his laurels. He said, hey, why don't I provide cloud service to companies that are trying to be like old Amazon here? And he started AWS, right?
I have this.
So I think that
was company.
Right. And then he bought, what was it? I think, what was it, LA Times or something, or the Wall Street Journal, I think he bought. Now he's,
yeah, I think.
Yeah, right? And then
he's with the Wall Street Journal.
Possibly. And so.
Or New York Times. Is it New York Times or Wall Street Journal?
I want to say I think it's the Wall Street Journal.
Should I ask it? Should I ask it? Should I put the ask in the system?
If you like. It's not.
Hey Google, what news network did Amazon purchase?
On the website CNN.com, they say Amazon closes $8.5 billion deal to acquire MGM. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
What's MGM?
It sounds like something from Nevada.
What is MGM owned?
Movie something? I feel like MGM Studios.
Yeah, but that's the studio for their Amazon Prime Video that they bought. So they get all the licensing and rights to 007.
Paramount.
I think it was. So all the... Yeah, there you go.
I thought it was 007.
Okay, he bought the Washington Post.
There you go.
Washington Post. There you go.
It was a post.
It was a post, right?
Yeah, we were getting there. Actually,
Oh yeah, MGM is
The lion?
remember the
Lions
the lion?
Oh, I thought it
No,
was
that's a
MGM.
different one.
Tito.
But the point is that like he went out of his way to make those strides, not only to sell books. So he found that it was probably a lot more simpler than he thought, or maybe not simpler, but it was in his grasp to start selling other things and creating his own product line from the company, and even offering web services that a lot of other companies use. So he tried to figure out that, and he didn't make any physical product per se or at the beginning, but his initial investment and idea made it so that he could actually acquire other companies and even create other companies based on his initial idea, which to me, from a person that came from a broken home, right, from an adopted dad, his mom, and I think that's like the epitome, not maybe epitome,
The
but
underdog story.
it's a great lesson for people that think that maybe perhaps the American dream is not, or is gone to a certain extent. Like a lot of people kind of have that, I guess, that icky feeling when they say, "Oh, pull yourself by the bootstraps and get working." But I mean, there's people that actually do it, and they're no better or smarter than you or I. I think it's just the matter of actually you wanting to do it, right? And I think that's interesting, and I guess a goal perhaps that you want to aspire to, right? And I think it's great. I mean, more power to him. I mean, regardless, I mean, no one's perfect, right? And there's difficulties in that type of world where you have to make decisions that affect a lot of people, right? And I think he's that aside, I think that's a very good story that we should keep in mind when we're trying to do our best out in the real world, trying to strive for. Yeah, I'm sorry, Marcos, I'm rambling again.
No. There's another one. For example, veterans that they're from New England, all those parts. They're where they live. There's a lot of factories, and they bought some factories to make jeans and gis because they're fanatics of they still like to do martial arts, and they purchased a company to make. They're called, I think, Patriot Jeans, and they make gis for jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, all those things, and they specialize on that. These companies, there were just some areas that they could purchase the land and have the factories already made, and again start as a startup company to make gis and men's and women's jeans. And again, they're a small company, but do you guys think that the US is more catering to, for example, a tech company or a company that makes jeans, or a company that makes headphones? For example, Grado has been around since the early 70s, and they're made in Brooklyn. Like, they're still making headphones, like open back headphones. They recently came out with the Grado's 420 headphones, like a novelty with the it was like wood over here, wood open back, and they had like weed actual weed on the wood finishes, and they were like charging, I think, like $420. And again, the drivers were specialty, handmade right there, everything made in Brooklyn by hand by the same family.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you were referring to like Jocko Wilking, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that dude is a massive inspiration
and physical beast.
Yeah, no, dude is awesome, man. Not only did he serve the country, but he also serves the community, especially the veterans out there that want to keep working. I think that's very admirable.
And that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And like him, there's plenty of people like that. And what's it called? I forgot what I was gonna say, bro. Keep going, bro. I'm sorry.
And with that, you guys think we should start the other segment?
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Click it, Marcos.
Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the
やれやれだぜ。
like your cut, G.
Cool.
Anime. Let's do
That's
this.
majestic. Wow. That was an experience.
And some might even say religious
Sure is.
experience.
Oh man, this revolution.
So, kicking it off, Chris.
Yes,
Anime. Dub or sub?
anime. Sub.
Drum roll.
Sub.
Oh.
Excellent. You have chose correctly, sir.
It's just okay. I watched Naruto
In the
dubbed.
corner.
I watched Naruto dubbed, and it's weird because his voice, the lady does it for the entire, like even like Shippuden. I don't know. It's weird when you go back and forth from sub to
You
dub.
mean the Wind Chronicles?
Nah, it doesn't match. I think that's what Chris is saying.
Yeah, it doesn't match. It matched for the kid version, not for Shippuden.
Right.
I think it just sounds better. They have more, like, they're more dramatic. They're more enthusiastic. The voice actors in Japan.
Okay.
They're more committed to the actual character,
Counterpoint.
probably, right?
They seem like it. I don't know. I don't understand it. So
Counterpoint. There's this. Oh, I was talking with Josue about this one called The Case Study of Vanitas. It's I didn't finish telling it to him, but it's an anime about vampires in Paris. Imagine the Japanese speakers talking about it in Paris. The dubbers, this is in Crunchyroll. The dubbers obviously had an English voice actors, and also guess what? Hey there, Marcos here. This marks the end of part 1 of this recording. Join us next week on the posting of part 2. Also, there's a video version of this podcast posted every Thursdays of the week. The podcast is posted on Tuesdays and the video on Thursdays, unless otherwise told. So, enjoy. From the bottom of my heart, Marcos and the LTS squad, signing out.